This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports and Chaco. I keep forgetting, Mark, where we're at today. I've totally lost the plot. We're down in Drogheda for the media day for your show in 3 weeks' time. Probably, first of all, I want to touch on the fact that you've had such a 2022. I know we obviously spoke about it online the other day, but your fourth show now of the year. I guess that's sort of like a phoenix from the ashes, obviously after COVID and everything else, but I guess keeping you busy and keeping your fighters busy, that's always been your imprint.
Yes, well, as I say, we were in lockdown for 2 years, as you know, and I had one show last year when we just came out of lockdown. It was very, very difficult to do because with all the restrictions and all. And then I said to all the boxers, stay ready, because once we're out of this, we press the button and away we go, and that's exactly what's happening. So we've had 4 shows. This is the 4th show of this year. And obviously there's another one to come before the end of the year, so that'll equal the most I've ever done in 1 year, which was 5 shows.
And I will say, I guess it's a testament, and I say the person you are. We always call you the magic man because you obviously deliver for your fighters, and obviously that's imprinted straight away again. I want to obviously just roll back a wee bit. Obviously 2 of your fighters obviously fought in the Colin boxing show, Rudy Farrell and obviously Colin Murphy. I guess, as obviously you well know as well, obviously Rudy was getting a lot of slack beforehand, but probably the two of them obviously showed a good imprint of obviously what MHD promotion is all about. The two in battle for 8 rounds. It was a great fight, and obviously there's no shame in defeat either. Obviously Colm's the BUI Collect champion and Rudy will return in November, but obviously just want to get your thoughts obviously on the fight.
Well, I thought it was a fantastic fight. It was close. It was a fight of 2 halves. Colm clearly won the first half of the fight, and Rudy then fought his way back in. And I think, in all honesty, the last round, Colin put that wee bit more in, took the round and sealed the fight. Otherwise, I think it was heading for a draw. But they've done each other proud. They've done professional boxing proud. It was a real good toe-to-toe battle. And yeah, the both of them will come again. They took the opportunity, which you don't win anything by not taking an opportunity. That's what they've both done. And Rudy's was fantastic as well. His stock was risen, and I didn't know how good Rudy could be, but he's the chance. He's got a real good chance of making something. So I'm delighted with him. But just they'll be running now probably to fight him.
I guess the thing is it's not his true fighting weight as well. I think he'll maybe come back down to super bantam. I guess both young fighters. I guess that's probably epitomises obviously what's great about Irish boxing. When 2 young lads can get in and fight, and they're not worried about protecting their own. That's what you want more of in fighting nowadays. You don't want people running away from a fight. You want them to fight head on. The professional boxers, that's what they're there for.
Well, they're there to learn. It was a learning fight for both of them. And as I say, whoever won, becomes the BUI Celtic champion. Whoever lost will come again. And on what I've seen, they both get opportunities to fight for titles in the future. So there was no shame in fighting each other. And they're both friends. They were actually both meant to come down last week, down here to help spar Eric. So I'm happy with everything, and everyone's happy. They took their chance, but as I say, they'll both be back out again in November. So
you've obviously added new fighters to the stable as well. Obviously you've been a busy period. Obviously you'd signed Owen O'Neill not so long ago. You signed Eddie Tracy and you've signed Owen Duffy. I guess obviously with Boxing Ireland obviously no longer operating, I guess you probably be able to steal the best of the talent they've had. And it's making the super welterweight division very, very healthy, obviously under MHD promotions.
Well, as I say, it's unfortunate Boxing Ireland guys decided to call it a day, and what didn't actually go around like anybody's feathers. These guys reached out; there was nowhere to go. And as I say, I work with everybody, and I work with anybody, and they've all got their opportunity, and they're all enjoying what they're doing. And as I say, who knows what the future lies for any of them.
And obviously on the show now in 3 weeks' time, I guess it sort of came as a surprise. I sort of maybe had an idea of obviously who was potentially going to be broadcasting the show, but obviously TG4 or obviously TG Cathars, as it's known in the south, have obviously come on as the media. And I guess the reason behind that is obviously you're going to have worldwide coverage with TG4.
Yes, well, as I say, I was talking to a few people about it, and I really liked the pitch that I got at TG4, and basically, so this show will be available free to everybody in the UK and Ireland on Sky TV also, and also worldwide on their media player. So the exposure the kids are all going to get from this is phenomenal, for anyone that's interested in boxing, and hopefully they will get good numbers. So if they do, they'll come back, and that's it's the start of something new, hopefully.
And I guess
but you do need the right fights. That's important too.
And I guess obviously you're delivering. Obviously Eric Donovan is a European dream. As I say, we call you the magic man because you always seem to deliver, but others can't deliver. Obviously, I'm sure you're relieved, and obviously in some ways you've been able to get Eric obviously his European adventure.
Yes, well, you know, it was always going to happen for Eric, whether it was home or away was a big thing depending on sponsorship, and Eric has a great sponsorship team who all gathered round, were able to contribute towards the purse bid. We won the purse bids, and now we've got a cracking contest, and it's a genuine 50-50 fight, so everything's at stake for both fighters on the night, so fingers crossed, and the fans will have a great night of boxing. The whole card is well matched.
And obviously Tommy McCarthy returning to Belfast. I think the last time he fought in Belfast was around May or June of 2019. Obviously his defeat to Chris Bellum-Smith sort of doesn't seem to have dented him too much. He's obviously focused, and he knows and believes that you're obviously going to get him back to the next level. Where do you obviously, and this is a really tough test obviously in the 24th September, this Latvian has been in with the best in the division. He obviously won a prize fighter tournament recently as well. Where do you obviously envisage, probably going into 2023 for Tommy McCarthy?
Well, I'm aiming to get Tommy back on a world title stage, and that's where they've been talking to different ones who are interested, but he does need a couple more fights back, and this is the second of his comeback. The first one was just a pipe opener to get his confidence back, and he's been doing some really, really good coach training up in my own gym, and he's coming on leaps and bounds, and his confidence is sky high again, and I'm expecting the best Tommy McCarthy to come out, because you are right, this kid is no mug whatsoever. He started off his life as a journeyman on the road and got better and better, and he's boxed in England several times and winning. He boxed Blotniks, who stopped Martin Ward or Stephen Ward twice and went the distance. And there's a guy who's the French champion at the minute, who's actually second in line to fight for the full European title. He's the EU champion. He lost in a split decision in France to him, which he'd most likely take that as a win. So this guy's no mug, and he's coming here. He knows that if he beats Tommy, he's in a big fight himself. So Tommy's got it all to do here.
And obviously, I'm sure you're more relieved than ever. Obviously, you're finally getting Conor Quinn. Obviously, his debut under yourself is going to be his third pro fight. It's been obviously a tough time for Conor. Thankfully, everything's worked out in the end. But you'd obviously spoke previously of obviously getting Conor matched very, very quickly. He's a talent, and particularly the weight class he's in as well. Do you now, obviously, once you get this out of the way, is it trying to get Conor as many fights as possible to get him caught back up again?
Yes, well, as I said, Conor's already got his next date after this one. But again, this guy's no mug. He's fighting the guy. For one, all the fights on TV have to be competitive fights. That was one of the things that we all agreed on. And it's a tough enough one from his comeback. But, I do expect him, it's not going to be as easy as his first two fights. But I do expect him to come through with flying colours and then push on to the next stage. But his division, very quickly, he'll be fighting for titles. So I want him ready. And I think Dale do that for me, Dale Walsh's coach.
Obviously you have two domestic dust-ups in the card as well, probably one that sort of maybe came left field. Obviously a lot of talk for the time is Owen O'Neill and Dominic Donegan were going to fight, but obviously you've done a Cavan clash. Owen Duffy, obviously one of your new signings, fighting Dominic Donegan. I guess it's proofs in the pudding, obviously domestic fights or whatever we want to see at the moment. On the last two cards you've had fighters involved. There's been a Celtic title fight on both of them. Yeah. So obviously that domestic fights are what people paying money want to see.
Yeah. Well, it's very, very hard to get two kids from Ireland to fight each other, and the reason that being is there's just not enough, professional boxing in Ireland for lads to fight regular. My own view is that if there are two Irish lads are fighting, it should be for some sort of a title, and because of say lack of numbers to do that, it's unfortunate. There will be no other title fights on the show. We tried to get Owen O'Neill a fight and Owen Duffy in Celtic title fights, and they weren't sanctioned for whatever reason. But these commissions have to work to try and help push boxing along here, and have to people want to see title fights, and I'll do my best to make that happen.
And obviously Owen moving down now to welterweight. I'm probably more surprised than anything. I thought Marty Quinn was probably maybe finished after Alicante last year. He seems up for it, he seems buzzed. Yeah. He seems to believe he's potentially the favourite on the night. He believes obviously that he's boxed better standard than Owen. Yeah. Another domestic fight, and I guess it's one of them where you really want to see Owen step up now, moving down in weight.
Well, as I say, he definitely could even go down to to super lightweight. I think Owen, and he's 8-0 now, and he himself, he needs now some sort of like incentive, and to keep going, and he needs to step up a level. Like as I say, he's learning all the time with each fight, and this is it is a step up for him. There's no doubt about that. Although Martin has a winning record, he isn't like he isn't 8-0. So you don't judge a fight at the caliber of a fight on the fighter's records. So I think it'll be a real good test. There's pride at stake here as well, and this is, as I say, it's Owen O'Neill's step up fight.
And finally, obviously, Eddie Tracy, who obviously isn't here today because he had work commitments, but obviously Eddie's somebody we've been very close to over the last couple of years. He seems to bang very, very hard with either hand. He's obviously in a good fight as well against Craig McCarthy. Is the sort of plan, I don't know, obviously I spoke to Owen Duffy the other day, is the plan maybe potentially them, obviously maybe afterwards? I know they're both signed, so it's probably an easy fight to make, but is a rematch between them something you'd like to do down the line?
Well, everything's a potential. They're all around the same weight. I'm looking even to do possibly, a last man standing tournament with them all later on. They're all around the same weight, and there's some other kids about at that weight, so everything's possible with them guys. But as I say, right now, Eddie's in a tough fight. As I say, Craig McCarthy's up for the job. He get into the equation. He's from Liverpool, but his mother is from Belfast and his father is from Dublin, so he's fully fledged, eligible for the fight for an Irish title or a Celtic title, if that be the case. So he's in the mix. So yeah, there's exciting times for that division, definitely.
And obviously finally in tickets, I know there's only about 20 tickets left. Obviously, can you tell people where they can get the last remaining tickets?
Yes, well, go on to Eventbrite and search up, as I say, the boxing side of it. And we'll say 24th September, there is about 20 tickets left. There's some inner ring VIP tickets left and some £60 tickets left. All the 50s are gone and the 70s are gone, so there's only a few left. But first come, first serve. It is an all-ticket event. There'll be no paying in the door on the night, so when they're gone, they're gone.
I guess obviously it's great news when you're about 3 weeks out and obviously a fight's, a card selling out. Does it sort of maybe get to the stage, maybe you might have to look at bigger venues, obviously on Europa with the talent you're bringing through?
Well, this show I had the Ulster Hall booked for the 17th, and unfortunately the TV date I could get was the 24th, which was the only other deciding factor. But it really doesn't bother me, the venue, because, as I say, a venue, as long as the guys get in the ring and fight, that does for me. As I say, you seen what happened last week. The guys got their opportunity to fight in the SSC arena. And if I get the right fight, I can go there. There's no problem with that. But at this stage in time, this is a new generation of young fighters coming up, and they're not ready for that to be head-in cards like that yet. So this minute in time, say Tommy, everyone, they've all come up along that route, and everyone's proud to box on my shows in there. I mean, I think the only guy that hasn't boxed up on one of my cards, full stop, is Carl Frampton. Everyone else has been on the show, so it's not an ego thing for me. It's a business sense. I can run regularly at the Europa and get my fighters fights. I'm not going to sit and wait every 6 months for a big show to come or not to come. That's the way I am.
Well, listen, Mark, thanks very much for your time. I'm sure we'll catch up in fight week, and I'm sure obviously we'll look forward to obviously hearing potentially your 5th show obviously be announced of the year obviously shortly afterwards.
Yeah, yes, I will do. It'll be announced shortly anyway. Cracking, good fight made in that already, and as I say, things will roll on.
All right, fantastic. Thanks for your time, Mark.